Hey, how you doing? So we are going to make a I can do this because I own Tenonizer, so I can get away with this, and there's nothing naughty about it. We are going to make a copy. Let's see. Maybe you could call it reverse engineering of a TC22. But I was the engineer in the first place, so there was lots of, oh God, Daddy, help. There was an amount of that in there. You can count on it. But as far as the person on this planet with authority over it, it's me. So I can do this. So what are we doing looking at the TC300 if we're making a copy or a reverse engineered where you go and you look at the finished product and then go and you... Why are we looking at this one? When you design something, when you engineer something, you want to create something. If you go to the final motion that you want to create, if you're trying to flatten off a slab of wood and it's going to be perfectly flat, that's a tabletop size, what is the motion that you want to create so it's perfectly flat? You know, like clearing something like with a cement screed or something like that with a router fitted into it. If you go to that final motion, well, in this case, the final motion that we're trying to create, to duplicate, to get a finished product, a specific finished product, because the finished product that we want is a nice, straight tenon, nice and smooth. Look how nice this is. Okay, this was cut on our biggest machine, the TC338. But this one will do it just the same. But we want to do it, can we do it on a $10 something where there isn't any welding in it even? No welding even? That's what we're going to try and accomplish. I think we can do it. So this motion, okay, when this is turning, here, I'm going to flip the switch so it turns again. Okay, when this is turning, it's also turning and moving precise, well, for all practical purposes, it's level, flat. And that's what we're going to do, flat level, and this one moves over the top of the blade and then it comes back. Well, when you're cutting with the grain, it wants that saw blade wants to suck the part into it, wants to go bam, which is why it's such a challenge to cut with the grain, because there is it naturally pulls, it draws that part in, wants to suck it in there right off the bat, all the way in there. Okay, so how do you overcome that? Well, in the TC22, it's just a pin on a hinge. In fact, here, this is one of the access shaft pins from a TC22. It's just one of the parts for it. It's a pin on a hinge that tips. Well, it tips because what you want to have happen is that right off the bat, you want that, you go run it all the way in and then pivot down, and you get to the end and then go back to the beginning, because you turn it, it turns and it draws you, and you take it off of the pin. Okay, but this pin, part of that, which is also what I wanted to show you, this is a grade 8 bolt. Cut the head off, round it over to a bullet point. Okay, why a grade 8 bolt? Well, a grade 8 bolt is strong, but there's also another reason. We're drilling the hole for this with a 1/2 inch bit. Okay, 1/2 inch diameter bit, 1/2 inch bolt. Why don't we use just a piece of steel? It's cheaper. You don't say a cold rolled 1/2 inch piece of steel. Yeah. You know what? You drill a 1/2 inch hole into something and try and get a 1/2 inch something into it, you'll never get it in there, because a 1/2 inch bolt isn't a 1/2 inch in diameter. It's from 5 to 7 thousandths undersize. And that 5 to 10 thousand or 5 to 7 thousandths undersize is what makes this work. Well, one of the secrets that make this work. So we can drill a hole into the workpiece with a 1/2 inch drill and get a 1/2 inch bolt to actually go into the hole. So, and we want it just to go on, tip down, and back up, while we at the same time are turning it clockwise. So it goes on, turn it clockwise, lower it down, back it up. What can we learn also from this saw, from this tenon cutter we have? We can turn it off again now. We have in here is a 9-inch blade. And the blade that we're going to set up the TC22, the $10 tenon cutter. The thing we're going to set up the $10 tenon cutter with is a 9-inch blade, because that chainsaw tooth blade, of anything that I have ever found, is the least expensive and cuts the best, because it cuts real good on the side of the blade. These blades are a couple $100 a piece. Don't want to spend that kind of money, but it's also, there, look, it is 3 3/4 off the tabletop to the center of that shaft. And with a 9-inch blade, if I have it level, this is about the smallest tenon I can make, which is about 1 5/8 inches, 1 3/4. So we're going to put the thumb that we want to end up with, a number, we're here for a number, from the tabletop up. We're going to go for the target number of, not 3 3/4, but between 3 1/2 and 3 5/8 is what we're going to shoot for, so we can cut tenons as small as this. Okay? So here we are at the other saw. And what do we have here? A brand new chainsaw tooth blade. Teeth riveted on, can't come off. Really good, I like them. And they're made for a brush saw, but they have an inherent thing about them. They're really cheap. They last a long time, but they have 1-inch hole for arbor. Okay, most saws 5/8. This 5/8 hole. See in here, 5/8. Has a little shoulder on it that's 1 inch. But these blades are stamped. The hole is stamped. The thing is just go punk, and it's stamped out. This is 1 inch exactly. The hole isn't always perfect. So you get one of these blades as a replacement, you get whatever you get. If you take chainsaw file, and how much does it take? Oh, almost. It's going, but it's just a little snug. Oh, that's all it took. Now it's absolutely, look at that. Just fits in there absolutely perfect. See? And here's the other half of it. They're a little hollow ground in the middle. If you get a blade package from us, you know, whether you do or don't, is immaterial. But the blades that you get here, if you buy a blade from us, I've already checked it with one of these and touched it with that little thing. Okay, we'll put that in there. And then we'll put this on. We'll put the blade on so that the teeth are pointing towards the front of the blade, or front of the table saw. It's kind of funny. Over the years, all the tenon cutters that we have bought and sold, or built and sold, that once in a while, people, because the thing sets up on the back side of the table saw, people have put the blade on backwards. Because they're standing on the back side of the saw, getting everything, and they're used to putting the blade on a certain way. And then they call me all upset because their shop is full of smoke. Because, yeah. And I'll tell them, hey, the blade's on backwards. Put the blade on the right way. Anyhow, so there we are. Blades on. Teeth pointing towards the front, and we find that the height of it is off the tabletop. It is just over 3 3/4 here. Here, you can look with this one. See? You probably can't see it. Oh, 2 3/4, pardon me. 2 3/4. I know I said 3 3/4, but I was wrong. 2 3/4. Now, to cut a tenon that's 1.5 inches in diameter, and we've got 2 3/4. That means that the access shaft, the middle of that, we had 3/4 to the blade height, and we go, oh, we can go 3.5 high to the middle of that access shaft hole in order to cut a 1.5 inch diameter tenon. Okay, so what are we going to do for materials? We got a blade. That's wonderful. That's like half the dollar. And we don't want to spend any money. So, what are we going to do for a hinge? For a hinge, I got a couple of old door hinges. I think they'll work. Okay, door hinge, and we don't want any welding. So, what are we going to do? We're going to use, I think we can use 2x4s. It might take 2 layers to get high enough. There's another one. Another one. Okay, we're going to move you over here and you can watch from here. Right there. Right there. That works. I think that works. Close. Okay, so we have a 2x4, 2x4, and modeling off of copying. Oh, reverse engineering from the TC22. We don't want to do too much of that or it'll cost more money. So, we have to have something that goes across that we can put a hinge in, a bolt in. And then we got to be, here, come, can you see from there? We need to have like a position about like this, where the shaft is going to fit. A position about like this, where the shaft is going to come out. We want it to stick out about 6 inches. Something like that, but it has to be lower, further down there. We might have to drill a hole right through this and use a longer bolt. Maybe that's where we'll spend the $10 on a new bolt. So if we're at about in the middle of this 2x4 with our pin that would get us close enough. And then the hinge, we need this thing to be able to do, come up here a little bit. We need this thing to do like this. Like that. That's the motion we got to get. We got to get that motion so that this pin, final action, we need to get it to turn and to be right in this position, right there. Right like that. So we can spin the part and get it off of the pin. So we want it to go honk like that. And then that's it. That's all it has to do. It has to just go honk. And then when the part comes off, it needs to flip back to the load position. So that's all this thing has to do. It's just that. That's its one motion. Thunk. Cut the tenon. Take the part off. Thunk. It goes back to load position. Load it up. Put another one on there. Cut it. That's all it's got to do right there. We got to just make it do that one thing. That's its one purpose in life, is just go that and do it absolutely rigid. No wiggle, no move. Okay, I think we can do that. So this, that the bolt goes through, has to be able to do that. So the hinge needs to be like there, the one little part fastened to the 2x4, and then right here going up into our block, pivoty block, just like that. That all makes sense? Make sense to you? Makes sense to me. I've only made a few hundred of these things. No, not of these. I've made hundreds. Yeah. How many hundreds of TC22s and its predecessor of that? It's out there. Oh, all over the world. United States, Canada, Mexico, China. And then we got the copycats out there. There's lots of them. So we have changed the world with a simple idea. Now we might be able to get it into your hands for $10 tenon cutter from Tenonizer, and you didn't even have to buy it from me. Just go copy it. Okay. So we need some numbers. Other thing we want some nice 2x4s. I want nice 2x4s, so I picked out a really good straight one. No twist in it. Length of, it will give us some space. We'll cut two at 30. 2 at 30, and I'm just going to go cut those and come back. There we have one, we have two. Now what do we want to do? We want to get them built up so we can get the hinge in somewheres around there. Something like that. Okay. It means something about a foot long. Maybe we'll go 14 inches and we'll cut it so it's got a 45 on each end. Long point to long point, 14. Let's see how that works. Okay, we got one, we got two. Yeah, so where is Camera Girl today? That's a good question. She's in the house doing stuff. Are you okay doing this on your own? I said, oh, honey, I don't want to do it by myself. I'd rather you were there. We could have fun together. She says, she said we can have fun later. I said, okay, sounds good. Okay, so there, this one gets fastened down, this one gets fastened up. I think that, do we need to be any wider than this? I don't know. We want enough of a space so it blows so we got enough space to blow the shavings out. This thing makes a lot of shavings. You know, if I cut it at 20, let's see, anything in the way? Anything in the way of putting a clamp on there or drilling a hole? Because we might just drill holes down through the tabletop to fasten this. Okay, 1 2x4, 20 inches long. I think we'll go like, you think? Maybe we can put that hinge so it fastens right like this. I don't know. Does that give us enough clearance? If it's in the middle of there. Comes up that high. Oh, that's 3.5. If I put it in the middle of there, that's 3 3/4. Ah, that'd be too high. Let's see. We might be able to do that. That would be, that would be easy. Put that hinge right like that. Right there. We put them both like that. There. You know what if I have it sit on top. You know, I think we're going to try it. The worst I could be is wrong. I've been wrong more times than I care to count. But you know what? If you're never wrong, you never done anything. So we're going to put the hinges in so they start. We're going to bump them in so that they're 1 inch in from each end. Can you even see that, right? Look at that. The hinges, 1 inch in, going to come 1 inch into the edge, bring them flush to the top, and then maybe we'll fasten this together. We'll fasten this together first. Let's see, where do we want? How far back do we want this? I think we're going to put it right to the end. Okay, I'm going to bring the points right to the end, right like that. Okay, this one 14 inches long point to long point. The two 2x4s 30 inches long. This one 20. I like even numbers, nice round numbers. Do we drill a hole through this right off the bat? Could it be? Could it be that easy? You know, I think I will. We'll mark it. 10 inches in the middle. In the middle. Okay. There, 1/2 inch hole right through the middle. How long are those? Okay. There, are we having any fun yet? One thing, I can never be accused of not using enough glue. Sometimes I make a bit of a mess, I guess, but it doesn't fall apart. Okay, glued together, screwed together. Now, can we put that right? Which way can we do that? We go this way. If we go that way, we got an absolute positive stop. And it might be, you know what, we're going to find out. It might be too high, it might be perfect. That's going to put it, no, where are we going to end up with? We can know what we're going to end up with. We can know that we're going to end up with, 4 1/4 to the top of the hinge. It's 5. Come down 3/4. That's 4 1/4. We need to be a 1/2 inch lower. That whole barrel needs to be down there. Okay. Yeah, I kind of cut out maybe a little bit more than what I had to. But, you know what? Still going to work just fine. Just like that. Right there. Oh. There. There. Perfect's good enough. Put it right in the middle. Level. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. Corner of that hinge, I just bumped it right down to the 2x4, and this is a 3.5 inch hinge, so 3.5 inches wide, same width as the 2x4. Okay. Now we have our I said I was going to come in 1 inch with that, didn't I? Let's do that. We might have to make there. Now that hinge is right flush with the top. You know, if this doesn't tip down there far enough, I can just sand a little bit back there. I think it's going to work pretty good. Okay, so that goes like that. That's going to go in there. I'm just using this for the moment, just to go so we have something that we can see. It goes like that. with this a little bit. It's going to be right about like that. Here, come in, look. Okay, come in from this side. Here, look in here. Okay, when that comes in and it comes down, the blade, here, we're going to move one of these. Okay, the tooth on this side, the center of this tooth needs to be centered underneath of the access shaft. That's where we want it to be. Centered under there. That'll give us the most perfect cut. If this, the middle of this tooth, is directly in line with the middle of that access shaft, that'll give us the smoothest cut. Most of the cutting takes place on the side of the blade. Everything we'll do will get turned, it'll turn clockwise, the rotation of it. Okay. Okay, so it's going to go like that, and fasten there. What else do we have to have? We have to have a stop that comes down, and a thingy that goes, that tips it back to, oh, that tips it back to load position. How much is it cut? How much do we need? We come out here with a 2x4 or something. We'll go 2 feet. We'll get a 2-foot piece of 2x4. Okay. We'll have our Now, we're going to go a little shorter. We're going to go back to 20 inches. We're going to go 20 inches on there. And we got to keep this thing away. How much? We don't want it any closer than that. And we want a hole through there for the stop. Right there. Huh, 1/2 inch drill right here. Okay, I'm going to give me a little space there. Give me a little more space there. If I cut it at I want to get a little closer. I'll bring that so it's like somewhere there. There, now if we have to sand that down, which I think we will do that before I fasten it, I'm going to take this. Out of there. Back to right there, right there. Yeah, so we can give you a number. There. 2, 1, half. That's what I got that set back. 2.5. Right here. 8. 1/8. Numbers are important. I like easy numbers. This side's got an easier number. 9.5. 9.5. And the angle that I have this set at is, for all you carpenters out there, it's a 4.5 and 12 angle right here. Okay, 4.5 and 12 on the framing square. Yeah. Yes, and in case you didn't notice, the camera cut out on this segment yesterday, so I am filming this one little spot here again, so we get the numbers in there correctly. And the part showed up. Oh yeah, here. The box from McMaster Car showed up. I think this is where I spent on this $10. The rest of the stuff I had laying around here. Of course, I got more stuff than just what can be used for this. But, aha. Access shaft bolts. A nice big bag. Yeah, 5 thousandths undersize. 5.5, almost 6. And we want a certain amount. This, we want that to come through. Oops, it was this way. That's got to go through. Whoa, that's kind of long. Huh. I don't need it that long. Here, we can put this thing in too. It'll help. Oh, you wondered about the stop. I just went an inch and an inch. And there, see this guy? 1/2-inch carriage bolt, 4 inches long. There. We can adjust, but we want it to run level. Now we're going to get you to back up. No, this is back. Oh, we get you back a little more. There. Okay. Level. There. We want 6 inches sticking out on the access shaft. So, yeah, we'll do it this way. And the 1/2-inch pins, so we need a total of 11.5 inches. So you know what was weird? What was weird is the 13-inch long bolt, for whatever reason, cost less than the 12. We need 11.5. Is that what I said? I think so. I'm going to look at it again. 11.5. And if we have, say, 6.5 sticking out, the set collar is going to take up a half. It's going to work. Oh, that's going to be like perfect in a half. Okay. Let's go to the other room for a minute. Oh, look at that, it's nice and straight. Sometimes I gotta straighten them, but that's pretty good. There. There it is. A bullet point. What's behind there? There you go. Just like that. Wonderful. You don't have to go in there very far. There, see? I only put it in about hardly a 1/16 of an inch, but that set collar, needs to grab on that little dot or it will not hold tight. There, got it. Well, be that way. There. I'd say that's pretty much invincible. Okay, I got a clear pocket right about there to drill a hole. Okay, I've got this square to my table saw top. What's this one? 11 1/8. 11 1/16. Yeah, there's glumpy stuff under there. I just need enough space to make it work. Yeah. This is one of the things that when making machinery for other people to fit on their stuff, I can't ask them to drill holes in their table saw. But for all you do-it-yourselfers out there that are going to copy this magnificent TC22 wood edition, it's okay if you have to drill a hole through your saw. I don't mind. The $10 tenon cutter from Tenonizer. Yeah, I still need to fasten it in front here. Something. Oh, 3.5 would make it, maybe. Hmm. 3.5, don't make it. Come out, come out. How's that? Isn't that beautiful? First tenon off of the new TC22 wooden edition. Pretty nice. Silky smooth. Look at that. Isn't it all silky smooth? Now, to be able to get it we needed to be able to get it down to 1.5 inches. Oh, look at that. 1.485. Just we can adjust it so yes, but the thing was we needed to get it so it went at least down to 1.5 inches. See, less than 1.5 inches, so that's less than Mr. Autofocus guy. Yeah, less than 1.5 inches. Oh, TC22, wooden edition, special edition, wooden edition, $10 Tenon Cutter. Okay, here we are with TC22 wooden edition, special edition, $10 Tenon Cutter from Tenonizer. I don't know why I'm grinning. I probably won't sell any of the TC22s on the website anymore now that we got this one out here. But you know what? I was getting tired of welding stuff up anyhow. So, hey, you know what you could do? You could go click like, click subscribe, and one thing I did on here, I probably clicked a few extra commercials that would show on here. But I think it's worth it for you guys. This turned out really nice. I like it.